Hello, welcome to day 21 of our Gospel according to Child Protection and Safeguarding. How are you doing? Do you know where your children are? Do you know what they're doing this very minute? So today we'll be talking about marriage and decisions. I have a couple of quotes, so you just listen before we get into the meat of the matter. One of the greatest gifts parents can give their children is a marriage guided by wisdom and accountability decisions. Every major decision in a marriage should pass through three questions. Is it wise? Is it loving? Will it strengthen our family? A marriage centered on God makes decisions with eternity in mind, not merely convenience in the moment. Marriage is a covenant of daily choices, choosing love over pride, understanding over assumption, and unity over division. Every decision in a marriage is a seed. What you plant in private will eventually grow into the atmosphere of your home. Why do we get married? What's the reason behind saying, I want to get married? Why do you even have children? What's the reason behind that decision? Is it the normal societal construct? I go to school, university, I finish, I'm a woman or a man of a particular age. Now it's time to get married. I get married. Now it's time to have children. There's certain phases of life that has become a construct for us. Is that what it is? What is marriage to a lot of us? What does marriage mean? Marriage is a beautiful thing. It's an amazing institution. It is a walk of faith. But what does marriage mean to some of us? So today I'll be dealing on two different stories, true life stories. And I want you to make the decision and tell me what you think. If the children from these marriages, if you think they will turn out okay. I often say that when the damage is a lot, you need divine intervention. And then when that is sorted, we can have therapy, coaching, and all the other tools that can help you navigate life. Why did you get married? A lot of times, we don't ask difficult questions before we say yes, or before we get into that relationship. We don't sit down. The good book I read says, count your cost. What are the what ifs? If I get into a marriage and my wife doesn't have children in the next 5 years, God forbid, we haven't even said it, you have shouted. What if she doesn't have children in the next 5 years? Are you willing to sit still? Are you willing to stay by her? If I get married, and it so happens that immediately we got married, my husband lost his job and he doesn't have a job for another 3 years, am I going to sit by him, or am I going to berate my husband every day for losing his job? Or will my husband in turn begin to tell me that I am the reason for his downfall because he has lost his job? Why did you get married? Why did you make the decision to pick the partner that you picked? Because she's tall and fair, her nose are pointed, she's the talk of the town. When she gets into a room, everybody goes, oh my God, is that why you chose her? Why did you choose him? His family, they are very wealthy. He's a very fine man. He always buys me gifts. Does he go to church? Once, sha. Why did you make the decision that you made? So two people come together. Very humble beginning. They come together. They get married. Of course, they're very supportive of each other. Then they begin to grow in ranks. And of course, the man is growing and then he becomes wealthy. Married to a very beautiful woman who lacks certain character. The man is aware that she has some bad behavior, but he still chooses to overlook it. She's aware because she saw signs, but decides to stay in this marriage. And then they grow. The man becomes so rich and decides that, you know what, my money and my authority can command other women for me. So he chooses to step out in his marriage. Of course, he has made the home front very comfortable for his wife. The wife, in her bid to secure her home, begins to act very unwise. Do they have children? Of course, they have a couple of children. Then they begin to act like mad people. Because when I say mad people, just hear me out. Mad people. Raising children who are going to get married, who are going to be in relationships, who are going to interact with people. Now, these parents decide to act mad. The man steps out, so, the woman is angry. Guess what? They live in a very beautiful house. Fuji House of Commotion is a lot better because he had more children than this couple did. You're in a house, right? The woman has her generator. The man has his own generator in one house. Isn't that madness? Not exactly. Let me be done. She turns on her gen. It powers her room, powers half of the kitchen, powers her fridge, powers maybe half of the parlor. It doesn't power any other part of the house. And no, it doesn't power her husband's room because now she has her own room. The man has his own generator. It powers his room, half the kitchen, a part of the parlor, and no, it doesn't power anything that has to do with the woman. The kitchen is divided into two. This is not a Nollywood movie. It's a true life story. The kitchen is divided into two. The side of his kitchen, extremely sophisticated. Her side, it is what was giving her in marriage. That's what she still has to deal with. So he has his own freezer, gadgets, everything. Of course, he's the odogo of the house, so he has money. Sort of at this point, she's kind of at his mercy, but no, this is her marriage. So she has her own side. He cooks his own food. She cooks her own food. Like I said, they have children who are seeing these things. My question is, do you think these children will grow up normal? You can say they will. Maybe in another 10 years, we'll find out if they really would live normal lives. You know the funny thing about us as humans? This is happening. He shops. She shops for herself. There's a funny part. She has her own diffusers. He has his own diffusers. So when when her own is, you know how reeds are, you have to turn the sticks and then the fragrance comes out and it's all nice. He waits for like an hour or two for hers to, go down. Then he now turns on his own smell because his smell has to overpower hers. Two conflicting energies in the house where we're raising our precious children. And you are going to come to that house tomorrow and see how beautiful the house is, and you want to get married into that home. Or you might want to even judge a child that comes from that home and say, oh, why she like this? Why she turn out right? Are you hearing her roots? Are you hearing where she came from? That's not the one that, shocks me. On Sunday, both of them will go to church, very pious, and take the communion. Lift holy hands. Pray. Because I don't know who they are praying to. But then again, our God is merciful and kind. Right? They pray. And then when they are done, guess what? They even sometimes wear ankle. But they are not talking to each other. Then they drive back home. Just before they get to the gate, the man turns and looks at his wife. Get out of my car. They are coming from church. Of course, she will get out. And this is the environment we're raising children who tomorrow might become a leader over you and I, a boss over your children or your friends. And yet, they got married. Do they have family and friends who know this and haven't called them out? Of course they do. But we have Odogu, who gives us money and makes us keep quiet. We have Madame, who has some level of panache. So when she talks and walks, you want to be in her company. She looks nice, dresses well. I mean, she goes to the best of parties. You want to be in that same clique, so you don't call her out. And maybe a couple of times they grease your palms, make money. But they are raising children. My concern are the children they are raising. Because they can get away with anything. Very dysfunctional. Very dysfunctional. Then the woman begins to manipulate her children to get stuff from the father when she doesn't have it. Why did you get married? If you just wanted to go your separate ways, wouldn't that have been better than to raise children to see this? Oh, one more thing. Every year, there's a wedding anniversary, isn't it? Guess what? People who don't talk, people who barely communicate or see eye to eye, because she has her own passage into the house. He has his own passage into the house. Guess what? For the gram, she puts happy anniversary, many years to go. Where are they going to? Where exactly are they going to? You know, an amazing man that I admire, one of my first mentors, still my mentor, he says when he hears things about marriages, he often wonders, the both of you journey from hell, then you met each other on earth. Why exactly did you get married? And why would you have to put children through this pain? Why? It is so unnecessary. Because I don't know, when you sit back and think about the life you have lived, because your friends are probably hailing you, whether you think that this is the best way, this is the best way to live. If your husband stepped out of you or stepped out on you, don't you think there's a better way to deal with the matter? Options are always available, always available. Call him out on his mistakes. If he doesn't hear, there must be somebody that he's accountable to. So why did you get married? Now, for those of us who are not married yet, who are in compromising relationships, and you know, because there's red flag, there's green flag, there's orange flag. There's a flag that is even confusing because all the rainbow colors are mixed together, is blinking, but you still say, you die here. Because I ain't dying there, you die there. You don't run away, and then you get in and then you start complaining. Why did you get married? Why did you make the decision you made? Then why do you have to drag our precious children into your decision or into this cantankerous environment that you have built? So I'll leave you with this charge. A healthy marriage requires intentionality. It calls for humility over ego, unity over individualism, and wisdom over impulse. Before making decisions, ask, will this strengthen our relationship? Will this honor God? Would this create a healthy environment for our children and those around us? Remember, the strength of a marriage is often not revealed in the moment of celebrations, but in the moment of decisions. It is really important that you choose communication over silence, accountability over secrecy, and commitment over convenience. I know I said I was going to tell us 2 stories, but I think my time is up here. So I'll tell you the story, the flip side of this story, on day 22. I'll see you tomorrow.